Hello and good morning everyone. I am Dr. Kamlesh Sahu and I welcome you all in our live interactive session. Today's topic of discussion is understanding and finding directions, and today we have Dr. Tanu Malik, Associate Professor in DESS NCERT. Welcome ma'am.
Thank you so much, Kamlesh.
So what is this about finding and understanding directions?
Yes, see, directions, if you want to go to any place, any movement you want to do, you need to have a fair understanding that where and in which particular direction you will be moving. And geography is introduced as a separate subject at upper primary stage in class 6. So even over there, one of our learning outcome is to locate direction. Because locating of direction is very important. It is one of the 3 components of map. Map is one important tool in geography. If you have to go anywhere, let's say you go to a new place, you need to have a map of that place. And on the map, usually a direction is always marked, means a compass is always there or an arrow is always there which is always pointing towards the north. But suppose if you go to an unknown place and even a map is telling you that where is north or where is south, then still you need to know where you have to move. So how you will find out the direction, how you will move ahead, so that you need to know. So that's why in today's this live interaction, we are going to talk about how children, they can locate direction with the help of various means.
When we have a lot of modern equipments like mobile and GPS devices, still we need to know this.
Very true. Yes, you're right that now modern gadgets have come up. Like we have GPS and we have even in our smartphones it is there. But you know very well, since you are using a smartphone, that any time the battery can go down, isn't it?
True.
Suppose if you have gone on a trekking, you are unable to charge your mobile, there was no electricity, then you are lost. How you will find it out? It's good. See, they also tell us the precise direction. But again, for a young learner, means we need to build up their curiosity. They need to look at the things all around them. They need to understand. They need to observe. They need to apply their mind. And it's very interesting exercise. Means our life should not be totally dependent upon these gadgets. It's really good that we have them with us. But again, in today's this discussion, we are going to start that how with simple tools and simple things, you can easily find out about the direction. Means I have seen many a times people, they are lost about the direction. They do not have any clue. But there are so many symbols, so many geography around you, which you can put into your daily use and explain about all those things.
So it's not about the geography students, it is a requirement for almost everyone.
Very true. You're absolutely right, Kamlesh. Geography is one subject about which I strongly feel, which stays with you lifelong. Means it's not that you have studied only till class 10, and after that you choose another stream. No, still you need a map. You need to have a sense of direction. You need to understand about sun, moon, stars, so many things. You need to understand about the settlement. Means the endless topic. Means geography is a part of your life. Means it never ever goes away. If you go to any place, the first thing you look at is always a map. And then you need to have a good sense of the directions also.
Even if you go somewhere, then people used to say like go to the front and then left or right or something like that. These are the directions.
I know, but again, here today we are going to talk about the north, south, east and west direction.
Okay.
If any one direction is clear to us, then we can easily find out about rest of the direction. The simplest way is taking sun as the reference point, because that is the simplest one. The sun rises in the east. So at the time of rising sun, if you will face the sun, then okay, you are facing the east direction. At your back, it is west. Towards your left hand side, it is north. And towards your right hand side, it is south. And similarly, at the time of sunset, then again it changes. So then you will be facing the west. And then east will be at your back, and towards your right hand side it will be north, and towards your left hand side it will be south. So since the ancient time, travelers, they have been using sun as a source, but again there were night travelers also. So we are going to talk about all these things, that how they used to study with the help of stars also, and again taking out the precise direction, suppose it is a noon time or the daytime, then again how to find out the direction. So we'll show the simple activities so that our viewers, they can understand about these directions. Yeah.
So the modern gadgets came about 50 years back, possibly.
True.
These information and knowledge our ancestors used to get the
Always. See, human mind is very curious and they all want to explore new and new places. So human beings have been traveling since ancient times for the trade purposes and other purposes. They explored different continents. So how they were moving?
and then
they
we
were
never
doing
had
it.
mobile or GPS
Exactly.
devices.
So initially it was a magnet. They used the magnet. Magnet used to tell them about north and south. If you are clear about one direction, as I said earlier, you can easily find out the other two direction. Can we just show that magnet thing? That ancient travelers, they always carried a magnet with them. See, the magnet, if you hook it with a stick, and if you suspend it, means you leave it just like that, after a while when it will stop, see, it will point towards north and south direction. So this is how ancient travelers, they were moving with the help of these magnet. And you know, even no matter how many times you do it, it's always going to become stagnant at the same position.
To north and south.
Yes, and you know, this simple activity, this is how we correlate different subject also. I'm talking about a geography topic which we have given in our geography textbook, where the components of map and where the direction is one important thing. This simple activity I picked up from class 6 science textbook. So that way, very beautifully, like we can connect various subjects and understand various phenomena and things in different disciplines in a better manner. So this was how, like, and you know, when with the help of magnet they were finding out the north and south, gradually improvement happened. See, as a human we evolve, and similarly what all we have around us, all those gadgets, we improve those also. So after that, later on came the magnetic compass. This
So
kind of simple device.
when we have
yes.
a cloudy day or night, then we can use this compass.
Exactly. See, this is a very pocket-friendly compass which children simply love to use. Here you can see all the cardinal points have been marked: north, south, east and west. And if you rotate it, you can try doing it, Kamlesh. See, now the needle is on the north. So now sitting at this room, in this room, we can identify, see, now we cannot see any sun, we cannot see anything. But looking at this, we can clearly know that where is north, where is south, where is east and where is west. So this is a simple device which even children, when they go for the trekking or the picnic, they usually love to carry it in their pocket. Besides this, there are even better quality compass also. This one is used in plane table surveys. This is also used for surveys. And even when pilots, when they fly the plane, they are using the compass for all these purposes. But again, they are not these simple compass. They are high-end one, means which are more accurate and means which does not get affected by other magnetic fields. Suppose if we keep a magnet nearby, the needles, they won't, suppose if you bring that magnet, immediately it will start moving. It won't remain at the same position because magnet will be attracting it. So when pilots are using the compass, that does not get affected by any magnetic field. So those are the differences, but there are various variants. But to begin with, for the young learners, this one is the most suitable one. So looking at this, they can understand these cardinal points. And if we intersect them further, then again, means these kind of things, they have been given in their book also, that they know about the cardinal directions, and further if we bisect them, they know about more direction: southwest, northwest, southeast and northeast. So these directions become clear to them.
So what if we do not have compass?
Yes, even that can be a position, that you have gone for a tracking, your mobile battery has gone off and your GPS has stopped working because the battery is out. Then again, how to find out about these? So for that, I would like to come to this PowerPoint presentation, if we could show it to our viewers. We have gone for a tracking, we are lost in a field, and then how to find out about the direction. It's a very simple trick. but there should be sun, or means at least if it is little cloudy, it does not matter, but the main thing is shadow should form on the ground. So you take a stick, the way it has been shown in step 1, and fix it on the ground. A shadow will be formed, we see in step 2, and at that shadow, at the tip of that shadow, we will mark a symbol. Let's say here we have marked a cross. It is basically identification. You can put a pebble, you can put a mark, you can do anything. Then one has to wait for some time. You know, though we say that sun is rising from the east and going towards the west, but basically sun is there only. It's our earth which is rotating. But it seems, and our earth is rotating from west to east. That's why it seems that the sun is rising from the east and going in the west.
And it will be very difficult to know the direction of sun during afternoon.
Yes, so this simple activity which we are showing here, it is for that time only. So one has to wait for 15-20 minutes, so that because earth is moving at a very fast speed, so obviously the shadow, that will also move. As a kid, you must have observed many times that your shadow is tall in the morning, it's very small in the afternoon or in the noon time, and then again it's long in the evening. So similarly here the shadow is formed, and means the sun is moving. After 15-20 minutes, when you look at it again, yes, another shadow has been formed, and you can here look clearly that it has shifted from the previous position. So here also you will mark another point. Yes, now we move ahead. Now we got to know about two direction. See, because the earth is moving from west to east direction, so similarly that thing is reflected here in this simple activity. So the first point which was marked over there was our west direction, and the new point, the new shadow which was formed, that is our east direction.
So the tip of the shadow is moving from west to east.
Exactly, yes. And now if we go to the next point, step 6, we are ready to move whichever direction we want. We got to know about two directions. Now we knew about the west, we know about the east. Now we are facing the north, and at our back it is the south direction. So it is, means children, they simply love doing this activity. You do not need anything. Means because especially in the noon time it's very helpful, because okay, sunrise and sunset time it's easier, that okay, where the sun is rising, where the sun is setting. But the rest time of the day, means when especially you have gone for the trekking, at that time this activity will be very beneficial for young learners.
What about night?
Yes, we will come to the night also, but again you have opened another slide.
Okay.
So I think first of all I'll talk about that, and then we will shift to the night also. Let's finish the day activities first, and then we can shift to the night one.
With the help of some.
Yes. See, even with the help of your wristwatch, you can easily find out where is which direction. For that, what you have to do, you have to take a wristwatch. You take it in your hand.
Okay.
Because wristwatch is always on your wrist, but here now you have to remove it and take it in your hand. And now hold it horizontally, the way it is shown in that figure. Hold it horizontally in your hand. And here let's take this light as a sun.
Okay.
We can take the light as a sun. And you have to do, see, there are basically two needles. One is hour needle, another one is minute needle. You focus on the hour needle, the way it has been shown even in that PPT. The hour needle, that should be focusing the sun.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you look at the 12-hour position. Focus only on two, the small needle and then 12 o'clock position. Okay. Look at these two and then bisect it in between. When you will bisect the position between the two, then it will be pointing towards the north. If you can clearly show it in this PPT, there it will be more clear and our viewers can correlate. See, in the previous slide, if we move to the previous slide, when we have taken it in our hand, here the hour needle, that is pointing towards the sun. Yes. And then now we are focusing on the 12 o'clock position, which is towards the left side.
Okay.
Yes, now we move to the next. Now focus only on two things. Forget about the minute needle. You are focusing only on the hour needle, which is focusing towards, pointing towards the sun, and the 12 o'clock position. And then if you bisect it in between, that is pointing the south direction in the northern hemisphere. We have to be careful that we are talking about which hemisphere, because northern hemisphere we use different method, in southern hemisphere we use different method with the same watch. But here we are finding the south and the north position. So now we move to the southern hemisphere. Southern hemisphere, again the first step is going to be the same. The first step, again we are going to take the watch in our hand. Now we move to the next slide. Here, see, there we were pointing the hour needle towards the sun. Here we are pointing the 12 o'clock position towards the sun. Okay, so now we are concentrating on two things, the 12 o'clock position, which is towards the sun, and then we will look at the hour needle. We move to step 3, and then you bisect both. If you will bisect both, then here in the southern hemisphere, you will get the position of north. See, there in the northern hemisphere, it was pointing towards the south. Here it is pointing toward the north. Okay, and then if you bisect it, you get the north position, you get the south position. Similarly, if you know about the north and south, you can easily find out about east and west. If north is towards the front, then towards your right hand side it is east, toward your left hand side it is west.
So if the sun is not there, means
yeah, sun is, yes, but again suppose see, in today's time many children, they use other watch also. This was the analog watch, that with the help of analog watch we could point this hour time and this 12 o'clock position toward the sun. We could bisect it and we could identify the direction. But what if you have a digital watch, because many children, they love to wear digital watch, then how they will find out? Again, it's a very simple trick and children can try doing it. Everybody knows how to draw a dial of a watch. Suppose if I tell anyone, even without looking at it, that draw the dial of the watch, everybody will be able to mark where is 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, means these four main, and rest only the little symbol. And looking at your digital watch, let's say it's 10 o'clock. You can easily draw the 10 o'clock position on a diagram. And after drawing it, same method has to be followed. Looking at your digital watch, you know about the time, it is 10 o'clock. If you are in the northern sphere, you are pointing that 10 o'clock towards the sun, and again you bisect it, you find out about your south. Okay. These are not 100% full proof that they will tell you absolutely accurately, but they are good methods which give you a fair good idea about the directions.
Approximate.
Yes, approximately. Yes, means for that you have to depend on the gadgets, and you know, even this magnetic north, it is not the true north. True north is our north pole. Okay. Yeah, but again, this magnet is pointing towards the magnetic north, which is little away from there, because Earth has high magnetic fields, so that's why the needle is pointing toward that side. So little bit of inaccuracy remains there in these little things, but again it is to get a fair idea and a fair sense of the direction. So that's why these simple tricks are helpful for the young learners as well as for adults also, I believe. Yes.
This is not the knowledge you know, you need to read it and write in your exam paper, or it is for everyone.
Exactly. These are the things which are meant for your life. As I said, geography does not mean that you studied something in one class and after that you move to another class. Geography is for your life. Means certain part of it always remains with you. And means even my students, some of them, they remember, even if they have gone in different field, that certain little activities which were done by them in the classroom, that remains with them and that they find helpful also in their day-to-day life.
Okay.
And yes, now you were talking about the night sky, and you have come up with the next slide which is showing the night sky. Yes, at night also you can easily find out. Can you tell me how? Even you must have studied in the school.
It is that North Star.
Yes, very true. Here we have shown the Saptarishi or the Big Dipper. We call it Big Dipper or the Saptarishi. And if we look at the 2 points, the last 2 points, they directly point, with this arrow we are showing little ahead, they point towards the North Star. And just below the North Star, that point, you have to think in terms of imaginary line, that is our North Pole. So this tells us about the North Pole. But again, this trick is useful only in the northern hemisphere, because North Pole is, this North Star is visible only in the northern hemisphere.
We can't see in southern pole.
No, you cannot. I mean, suppose if with the help of, you think about that, okay, you studied about the pole star, that with the help of pole star, you can identify the north, and if you follow the same trick in the southern hemisphere, you won't be able to do it, because that is not visible in the southern hemisphere. But for that, we use different thing. Yes, can we move to the next slide? We look at the Southern Cross constellation. Children love looking at the stars. They should look at various constellations and try to remember which is which. See, all of us remembered about Saptarishi, which was shown to us, which was means shown to us by our elders, means at home parents showed us, our elder brother, sister showed us, our teacher talked about it in the classroom. So this is how we learned about it. And some of the students who have curiosity, they learn about various other constellation also. Some of them they study in their science textbook also. So one such constellation which is visible in the southern hemisphere is this Southern Cross constellation. So it's a basically group of 5 stars, and in between the 2 which are the widest one, you can show this picture. So there you take that as a horizon and extend that line further. We picked up out of the southern constellation, we picked up 2 stars and we extended the line. And now we move to the next slide, and then we can see just below it, that is the South Pole. So in the southern hemisphere, we find out about the South Pole. But if we know about the south, we know about rest of the direction also. Okay, so at night, this is one way to find out.
This is about southern hemisphere.
Yes, southern.
What about equator?
Yes, that's a very good question, Kamlesh. Yes, you asked the right thing. Now I'll show you the next slide. There we go to the another constellation, which is Orion. Orion the warrior. So you have to identify the Orion, who is the hunter basically, according to the Greek mythology. And these 3 stars which are a belt in between, which are forming a belt in this slide, one has to concentrate on these 3 stars. Yes, and then the next one, just below it, that is our north. So this Orion constellation, that is always visible on the equator. So that's why on the equator, if you have to identify the north or any of the direction, then this will be very helpful. But again, looking at the constellation, it won't happen that suddenly somebody reads about it and immediately you go out and watch the night sky and immediately you identify, okay, this is this constellation. No, it is more a matter of practice. You will have to practice a lot, you have to observe it, you may have to take the help of your seniors, parents, elders, or even your teachers, or maybe some book, because books are also very helpful, and with the help of that you can identify the constellation, gain a mastery over it, a mastery which will remain with you lifelong, and then you can use these skills wherever you go.
What if we are not able to identify these constellations?
You can. See, it's not difficult. When as a child you must have looked at the stars, they were just some twinkling object which fascinated you. You knew nothing about it. But gradually you must have, we all experienced the same thing. Somebody told us, look, those are Saptarishi. Look, that is a North Star. Look, now the Venus is visible. I'm sure all the students have experienced this thing. If not seniors or elders told at home, then I'm sure their teachers, when they went to school, teachers definitely must have talked about it. And I remember, as soon as you tell in geography class about the evening star, the same day children, they always go and look at the sky. Yes, we observe the evening star, a star on which they had, about which they had never ever observed earlier. So similarly, the constellation, if you want to learn about them, it won't happen in a day. Constantly, if you will look at it for days, then easily looking at the figures, you will be able to identify which is Orion, which is southern constellation, which is Saptarishi, and which is a pole star.
Okay.
It is not a difficult exercise, it's only a matter of practice.
Any other method?
Yes, if we move ahead, I'll show you more methods. Yes, this is another method with the help of two sticks. Earlier we did that exercise with a, like in the daytime, you had fixed one stick, you looked at the position of the sun,
Shadow,
yeah, and the shadow, and then you could identify. At night time there are no shadows, but again the movement is there, earth is still rotating. Again, just like the sun, stars are also stagnant, but because of the rotation of the earth, it seems that even stars are moving.
Stars are moving from east to west.
See, in the same manner, their position will be changing. Sun is just one object, so that's why you could tell its position. But in the night sky, there are hundreds and thousands and millions of stars, isn't it? So basically, you have to focus on only one, because everybody's position is going to differ in a different manner, isn't it? So they all will seem different. So that's why here we are going to use, if you look at this picture, we are going to use two sticks. They will, means the way you look at the telescope and gaze at the star. So here we do not have a telescope. What we are going to do, we are going to fix two sticks on the ground. They should be 3 to 5 feet tall, and one has to take care that those sticks, they are absolutely straight, because then they will means help us to identify it more clearly. The smaller one should be first and the taller one should be next. Now what a child has to do, he has to use the tip of these two sticks as the pointer. First of all, look at the smaller stick. In the same gaze, look at the tip of the taller stick, and then focus on any star. It can be any star, you need not to know even the name also.
Okay.
So here your problem of constellation, if you have not mastered it by then you can simply use this trick. And then focus on any one star, but you should be clear that even if you look at it, that star after a while, let's say half an hour or so, you should be able to identify it. Means look at the position of other stars, surrounding stars, and then fix your gaze at that. You have identified it, now wait for some time. Now we move on to the next slide. Yes. Now you will wait for a while, and then when you will look at that star position again, looking at the first stick and the second stick and then focusing on that particular star, you will find out that if the star has moved up, you are facing the east. If that particular star has moved down, you are facing the west. If it has moved towards the right, you are facing the south. And if it moves towards the left, you are facing the north. So obviously the star is going to move in either of these four positions. Okay, but again, if you think that it has moved to two positions, then it has to be, let's say, southwest, southeast. So, but again, the basic directions are going to be the same. So with this simple trick, easily you can identify, because the movement is taking place. So you looking at the star's movement, you can identify which is which direction. And again, as I said earlier, you know about one direction, you can easily identify rest
the
of
other
the directions.
directions.
Very true, yes.
Is there any or more method to get the directions?
Plenty. There are so many methods which you can use. See, but again, you have to be very observant. More you will observe the things, more you will question the things, more answers you will find out. One thing is, see, the north part receives less sunlight and the southern part receives more sunlight in the northern hemisphere. So if you will look at the moss grass on the trees, but again, you simply go to a tree, observe the moss and then identify, no, it won't happen that way. You have to just rotate around the tree, means look at it clearly,
Observe
and
carefully.
observe, yes. Then only you will be able to find out which moss is more healthy. the more towards the northern, you will find out that at one particular side it is more healthy, more green, more rich. So that is the south direction. The other one is the north, because north is getting less sunlight. Same as with the branches. If you look at the branches, means the north side, the branches will be coming up. There will be more trees and more leaves towards the south side. Similarly, if you will look at the nests of the ants, you will find most of the ant nest, they are also in the southern side. Means they make their nest on the southern side, because there again the reason is same, they are getting more sunlight. Similarly, there are various other things also which a child can observe. Means many things are related to religion also, so children can find out that in a specific religion how the prayers are done, where the faces of deities are. So looking and observing these things, you can find out and learn about the directions.
There are many things to
There
talk
are many
and
things, yes, you have to keep on exploring, and I'm sure you will find many more interesting
the
ones.
only problem we have is right now is time, where the time is almost finished.
Okay.
So there are many things to know and tell, but right now we're finishing this. Thank you, ma'am, for this great knowledge. It's really important for everyone. And keep watching, everyone. Please, you can ask your questions in our YouTube page, or you can ask through call. Thank you for watching, and we will be coming tomorrow with the next topic and another expert. Thank you very much.
It was my pleasure being here. I really hope and pray that young learners, they really look at these things and try to do these simple little experiments in their life.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.